Yes, In Stars and Time. Probably one of the best time loop stories I've seen in a hot minute. Honestly, I knew things were gonna get bad, but oh boy, the story is really good. So if you guys are interested in the story, please go and get the game and play it yourself. Or you could also wait for my friends and I to finish our playthrough of the game on the channel. But until then, this is a fun little challenge run that I did that was like a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, I ended up doing notes on this. That was a day-by-day thing as well. But let me explain the challenge run before we really get into this. So, I remember years ago, I wanted to do Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days challenge run where it was every single day was a real life day type of thing. So that got me thinking when I started playing in Stars in Time, it was another like once a day thing. And I was like, oh, big brain, let's do that. And I foolishly decided to do exactly that. Now, how are we doing this? Well, I'm gonna math it out and say that Siffrin wakes up from their nap around 3 p.m. Then when you go and talk to the head housemaiden, it's 3 p.m. the next day. So no matter what, it is a 24-hour loop. If I did it the other way, it would have gone twice as long, and I would have definitely forgotten things, because I also forget things. Now, the rules of the run is that first, when you die, you have to start back at the very beginning every single time. We have to start at Dormont. Every single time. Unless if the story forces us not to. And I think it forces us not to once. But that basically means that we cannot jump forwards, we cannot jump backwards slightly, we have to start at the beginning every single time. The second rule is that as soon as we wake up in Dormont, sometimes Siffrin has like a little panic and stuff. The first save point that we see, which is going to be in the field, is where we save every single time. That at the end, and then we start back up at that save point, and then we continue on. So it's just, we do get a little bit of the next day, but it's fine. It's fine. Third, sometimes the game does multiple loops without us knowing. Yeah, I'm not gonna skip multiple days, to be honest. I will forget, and I will not finish this video if I do that. Maybe another day, maybe another time. Fourth, any percent, we aren't going to try and get everything, every crabbing thing. I have a bad memory, and I'm gonna struggle about things, and it's gonna be awful, and I'm gonna forget things. You'll understand that when you get into the video more. I had a time. I had it in Stars in Time. Following that, I might do a 100% run one of these days, but like again, that will be another time, another run, another time. But for now, that's what we're doing, so let's get into this. Oh, and one last thing, I feel like it's a given, but there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this, so if you don't want to see spoilers, go check out the game. I know there's probably a bunch of other people who've also played the game, so go check out the game, and then come back to this. I don't mind if you want to run off and then come back maybe later, or forget about it. It's fine, don't worry about it. So we'll see you guys later. But for everybody else who either doesn't care about spoilers or already knows about the game, and one last thing, we did go for the 2 hats ending. So let's get into this. And let's go! Day 0! Day 0 is just before the first loop. It's before Siffrin finds out they can loop. It's labeled as Day 0, and it's just the start. We start as usual in the meadow, and immediately I mess up, and while holding down the continue button, because I was tired, I accidentally saved over my original Act 4 save, so now I only have Act 5 and 6 saves, so we're gonna have to save an extra one when we get to the end of this, which we do! After lawfully crying in the corner, I decided we are going to try and do some side quests. I'm honestly tempted to try and get all the achievements I still don't have, like the one where it's like 100 loops, but like as time went on, I kind of just wanted to escape, probably as bad as Siffrin wanted to escape. But I love this game, but also I wanted to escape so I can enjoy it normally. Anyways, I guess you could say, rock beats scissors. Oh no. And then, after Siffrin has a fun little breakdown, we save and call it for today as we move on to our first loop. Day 1! Starting off with our first loop and needing to talk to Loop, of course. This is really where everything will be starting and stuff. I felt pretty good about this run so far. Also, I had asked the community on my Tumblr, because of course I did, what kind of other little things we should do for side quest wise, and a couple of like the main ones came up, like stupid rotten adults and, the 100 ways to die. But honestly, I don't think I was going to ever get 100 ways to die, because gosh darn it, how you get the knife one, I'm gonna throw a table. Anyways, moving on. We decided to do a couple of like the main quests and stuff. Like I wanted to meet the change god, I wanted to make the bomb, because I never made the bomb in my original playthrough. As I'm talking to Loop, I'm already thinking of ways for the next, like, you know, scripted death, like where the next scripted deaths are, and like, you know, the best way we can go along with this playthrough. Then we go through the usual nighttime event, which I zip through because this is going to be a pain because we're going to see this gosh darn event so many times. So many times. More so than usual. Then in the house again, we quickly find the tear and we die. Thank you, Bonnie. And we are forced to wake up in the house on the first floor instead of Dormont, which is the only time in the game that actually forces us to do this. Thankfully, we can do this run correct and start in Dormont every single time. Day 2! Starting on the first floor, we go through as normal, and at some point in time I have a small panic about how much damage Siffrin takes compared to the others. Like he gets hit and like half his HP is gone instantly, and with the other characters, they just don't. So like, you know, I go over and I like casually check like how much defense Siffrin has, and like he only has like 85, and like Mira's is above 90. Everybody else is over 100. Siffrin, please! That's fine, it's fine. They will get more defense as time goes on, because of course they will. Anyways, the day goes as normal, and I start setting up for, you know, getting to the storage room and all that fun stuff, but in the end, we cannot continue, and we have to use a tear to loop back. And I debate if we're gonna die to a sadness, or if we're gonna do this or that, because I was still on that whole, like, we're gonna try and get 100 ways to die. We do not get 100 ways to die. And, like, you know, that's fine. I think it'll be easier to, like, you know, die to a sadness sooner than later, but, like, again, I don't think I ever die to a sadness. And then by the time I realize it, I'm, like, level 90, so it's, like... On to day 3. Day 3, waking up in the field, we run around and start to get up to some of the other quests going on, and namely the ribbon for Mirabelle. We also get to talk to Loop with the menu, which means we're already getting into the real soup of the game. Also, for some reason, it was Bully Siffrin Day. I'm not kidding. Every single sadness went straight for Sif. I would heal them, only for the next hit to go directly to Siffrin again and drop him to like half HP. Why? Guys, please, like, hit somebody else for once. Please. Anyways, the game decided to crash on me today, and I had to redo the first boss, which was a real pain because, like, you know, for some reason, my own memory loss decided to show up, and it was awful. It was terrible. I would be sitting there, and I'd be like, what sign was it on? I don't remember. So half of this was me guessing what sign it was, because I couldn't remember what it was. It was great. It was awful. Anyways, moving on. So I had planned on going further, but because of the crash, I decided to grab, like, Isabeau's earrings and called it for a night, and took a nice nap with some tears. Day 4! Back in Dormont, I run over and chat with the stylish lady, who gives us the bow! Nice! I missed this one, apparently, in my original playthrough. Then we head over to Loop, and we see some dialogue I haven't seen before. Nice. Honestly, because I do these before I go to bed, and it's like super late whenever I do these, like it's kind of like bordering on the same day or not, because like, you know, I usually stay up kind of late, not gonna lie. I decided to use the banana because again, it was really late already and I was kind of tired. And I was still going for the, hey, well, let's do 100 ways to die. We do not do 100 days to die. But you know, let's you know, set up for that. Anyways, there was like a split 2 seconds that I saw like the house looming over us, and I literally felt dread. I looked up at the house and went, oh god, we did no progress today, and I felt dread. This is day 4. This is day 4. And I was like, oh god, we're on Act 2, day 4. You haven't done anything. After my little panic, got myself up, and I saved for the night, and the next day, we hopped into day 5. Day 5, things went as usual. We got up, we got ready for the day by going and talking to Loop, and we got the ability to call Loop, which I apparently never used, ever. After we checked some pillars, we got memory of pillars, which will be very useful later on when I decide not to pick anything up. And I think I also got memory, I don't really remember exactly what, but I got another memory sometime during this. I even write it down. Anyways, we head up to the floors as usual, and when we get to the pineapple, I want to take it. I really want the pineapple, but I don't. We need to progress more today. We did struggle a little against this boss, mainly because we were under-leveled, because I think you can make it through all the bosses. I think it's just like if you do the math right, you'll be fine. But like, we struggled with this boss today. It's not gonna last long, but we did struggle today. It'll be fixed soon enough. On floor 3, I did go into the secret room and get some dialogue I hadn't seen before. Then we happily went the correct way and learned that the door is locked and the key is on the 2nd floor, so we have to loop back and we have to lawfully shove our arm into a tear and take a lawfully nice little nap. Awakening on day 6, nothing crazy happened except for Luke calling us out for our coin. You're just jealous you don't have one. As I started this run, I remembered I hadn't been into one of the storage rooms yet, so I had planned to make this another loop with technically no progress. We did learn what book Bonnie had been reading, and we did get the password, but still, on to day 7. Back in Dormont. And for some reason, this entire run, I thought a sadness was going to kill me. It was fine. No sadness has killed us. We set up for a few quests, then we headed to the king. Oh, we made the bomb. I was honestly laughing because I had never, made the bomb. And I was having a great time, kaboom! And then, of course, we died to the king. Yay! Alright, day 8. A lot happened today. First things first, we set up for a few more quests and we continued some other ones. Things were pretty normal until we got to the part where we talked about death. Oh my goodness. And Bonnie said some real crazy stuff to Siff. Oh boy. Oh. After I learned we can't meet God in Act 2, so, we continued on to the king. And we killed him this time. Let's go. Even throwing a bomb at him. We are so good. Then we headed on over to the head housemaid and finally making it to the end of this playthrough. Don't look at the runtime, only making it 8 loops. Don't look at the runtime. Nice! Don't look at the runtime. It's fine. Everyone is so happy and everything is fine, and we finally chat with the head housemaiden and oh no. After Siffrin's panic attack, we lawfully make it into Act 3. Here we go. Heading straight to loop in day 9. We're having a little chat, and I was about to say Loop is 100% the MVP here. Like, they sit here, and we chat with them, and they calm Siff down most of the time. It's great. Thank you, Loop, for existing. You are the MVP of this gosh darn game. Also, I had guessed Loop and Siff were, the same person in my first playthrough. I'm pretty happy about that. And so we picked it again. Haha! It did take me like 20 loops to get here, my original playthrough, so it's fine. It's all good. It's all fine. Wait, 9. Yippee! Anyways, progress. This loop we started to figure out how to help our friends, and sooner or later we are going to have to use the pineapple. But I wanted to chat with the head housemaiden first, so we go as far as we can in this quest, then headed off to chat with her. And of course, I forgot to press record. But during the entire loop, I was vibing. I was straight vibing this entire loop. I had some good music playing. It was great. Also today, I felt like we were bullying the sadnesses because, we had the auto attack up and the auto defense up and the auto speed up. And you know what? It made battles go so fast. It was great. And we were level 65 at some point. That is not what I wanted to be at. I would wish we were less, but that's fine. I'm not actually trying to level up at all. It's just we keep running into them. My dodging game is awful. I honestly thought we were going to make it to level 99 in this playthrough. Anyways, moving on to day 10 and loop 10, we finally start progressing in some character quests. But I decided not to do that yet. Wow, good thinking me. No, but we did finally get Memory of Sadness. Thank goodness. So they do fear us now. Yay! And at some point, I may have accidentally broke the game. Oops, it's fine. It's fine. And I had no idea how, this happened. And when I ran into sadness, it kind of fixed itself. We also started learning about timecraft today. And Bonnie mentioned the smell. Later on, Siff realizes he's the one who smells like craft. But, still. Also, what do scissors smell like? What do scissors smell like? I just have a conversation in the comments for this one. I just want to know, what do you think scissors smell like? Because they smell like scissors. What do scissors smell like? I would say rocks, but like rock smells like rocks, right? What do scissors smell like? Anyways, let's move on to day 11, loop 11, 13. Oh no, it's our first forgotten loops. Day 11, loop 11. I guess we are going to be putting the loop number in at the beginning each time, because we're officially in Act 3 when we start forgetting entire loops. Anyways, guess who was working on thesis class work all day, and it's like super late, and I had like a 9 a.m. class in the morning, so I decided to take a nice little crunch with the rock at the beginning. Unless if I, click the wrong button. Hey loop, let's hang out! Did we loop? No, we rewinded. Okay, still loop 13, had to check. Rock time. Wow, we hadn't been seeing this screen in like actual days. My goodness. Thinking about it, it's because we normally go all the way to the end each loop, talk to the head housemaid and get as much progress as we can each day. So it's weird seeing this screen again. It's been like actual days since we've seen the screen. Day 12, loop 15, back to Dormont. Today is Pineapple Day. I needed to progress with the party's individual story quests, so we gotta munch on that pineapple. But we do end up doing a Dials quest today, as well as chat with Loop, who chats with us about poking everyone every loop. And after grabbing the information we needed, we head up to Munchity Crunchity on that sweet pineapple. Pineapple. Spicy. Day 13, loop 16. Loop makes fun of us. Nope. Today we talked about why Loop calls Siffrin Stardust. And to be honest, I absolutely love that nickname because like Loop is a star and our Siffrin is like the second Siffrin, I think. So, calling our Sif Stardust is actually just like what's left of the first Sif Loop, Anyways, things went as normal. I mainly just needed to talk to the king, and while doing so, I realized we needed to go to the observatory. Still, we hadn't done that yet, because that's an entire day, and that ends it right there. And it's really funny how I started thinking about how to play the game differently, trying to get everything I could done in every loop, and those loops where it's a dead end end up becoming like stopping points, I guess. It's, progress. We're trying to get as much progress done in each loop. While fighting the king, I may have forgotten if the king had, did his little wait thing, and he may have accidentally killed us. Oops. On to day 14! Yay! 2 weeks! Let's go! Day 14, loop 17. For our 2-week loop, we started off, in Dormont, of course. Chatted with Loop. After that, we ran straight to the observatory and thought about the stars before heading back into the loop via a tier. Day 15, loop 18. Now for this loop, we could do one of two things. First, we could do, the character quests and run to the end, or we could actually chat with the king, and, if I remember correctly, that would lead us to a death. Alrighty, I decided to just chat with the king today, and off we go. We first start with chatting with Loop, who does, in fact, make fun of us for chatting with them so much. Loop, you are helpful! I'm going to talk to you every day. It's fine. Then we ignore everything and run straight to the king, only to realize I forgot to check a bookcase in the library this loop. And I literally looked at the bookcase and went, nah, we don't need that. And then I continued on. So that'll be a tomorrow thing. And we have a little bit of a panic trying to get Isa to say things, but it's not going well. And we move into the next loop. Day 16, loop 19, chatting with Loop once more. We have a mission, one to run straight to the library and check for that gosh darn diary entry that I forgot in the one before. Loop actually grounds Siffrin, which I did not know about, and again, Loop is really the MVP of this game. Thank you, Loop, for being here. Anyways, we sprint to the library, then sprint to the king, where we try to say our country's name and fail so badly we die. Siffrin did tell us at the beginning of our next loop he just needs to talk to the king one more time, which means we will be going into Act 4 next. But there is one thing I wanted to do in Act 3, which is what we're going to do tomorrow. Day 17, loop 20. Today we met God. Starting our loop, we chat with Mirabelle and get her quest done. Along with Dial and Bonnie's, we even stop to chat with Loop, who doesn't have a lot to say today. Then chat with Isa. We head out and finish the day off with looking at the stars. Heading through the house was easy, but we did end up meeting the Change God. I love the Changed God. They are so funny. All I imagine is them sitting there watching this with like a bowl of popcorn. Best character. Then we go and kill the king with the power of friendship. And finally we head out to chat with the head housemaiden. And with the power of friendship, we can finally beat the game. Don't look at the runtime. It's fine. Actually, no. The power of friendship doesn't work. We are trapped here. Yay! On to the next loop. Day 18, loop 21. Today, we thought it would be a great idea to have another chat with the king. What could possibly go wrong? After chatting with Loop, we head straight to the king, and we have our fun little chat. We stop the fight, and it seems to be going well until the king grabs Bonnie, and of course tries to kill Bonnie. After forcing ourselves to loop back, we immediately need to go and check on Bonnie, which we do a day later. Loop 19, day 19, loop 20. Sprinting straight to Bonnie, we check on them. Then we go and chat with Loop, who told us so. After having a chat, we run back to our fun friend quests and give Bonnie a hug. I always let Siffrin give Bonnie a hug afterwards, and then I don't do like the everyone loves Siffrin runs afterwards because I feel kind of bad. So we're not going to do these character quests again, like, ever, so it's fine. Now we head into the house and start to search for things. I totally forgot Siffrin can't read at this point. So like same, but like. Then after learning some witchcraft was real, Siffrin decides we need to talk to Loop. So we head over to the observatory so we can, try and get as much as we can out of this, as like I can think of at the moment. And also I like to avoid the king as much as possible afterwards until we have to go and fight him again. As I'm sitting here after we loop back, I realized that we forgot the gosh darn hat in the room. Day 20, loop 21. Today we chat with Loop about witchcraft and went back into reading books. Ah, yes, reading. We also look at our coin in front of Loop and also in the house, and Sif kind of had a bit of a panic. We also learn a lot about witchcraft, getting ourselves the steeple hat, obtaining an achievement, and ending off in the observatory. Again, I feel like we didn't get very far this loop, but we really did get everything we could. We've been doing this for 20 days already, and I don't really see an end in sight, as well as we still have quest for a dial to do, which will be an entire loop on its own, but we are in Act 4, which means the end should be in sight, right? Just have to keep going. And again, I need to point out, this is my second playthrough, so a lot of this information that I have on things to do is just like my own awful memory from my first playthrough, which was like 50 hours long. But Day 20, loop 28. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I thought I was going somewhere with this, and I remember Siffrin saying we should go and talk to Loop, and I would be like, oh yeah, we just need to go and talk to Loop, so it'll be fine. No. So today, I was gonna run through the house and find whatever made me think we would make progress. So we're just gonna check everything, because like the stuff that I thought Loop was gonna like be like, hey, you need to go and do this. Loop didn't do that. Loop didn't give us any information today, and I was like, oh god, I don't know what I'm doing here. So it's fine. Well, starting to lose hope. I found it! We are so close. Let's make a dial sus of us, though. Let's mess with a dial. It'll be great. After making a dial super sus of us, we had a fun little panic attack fight with the king. After having a fun little chat with a dial, who had learned about our loops, Siffrin has another fun little panic attack about this too! Very fun and panicking loop. Day 22, loop 33. We are so close to the end. We go and chat with Loop and have a good chat. Loop tries to tell us that there isn't a way out, but Siffrin doesn't really listen. We need to go and talk to that housemaiden. We do some redos on some of the old conversations just to see if there's anything different going on. And then immediately after, we sprint. We go directly to the end just to go and talk to the head housemaiden. who kind of tells us that we're trapped here forever. And after 22 days and 33 loops, Siffrin snaps. It is time. We are at the end. And for the final loop, day 23, loop 34, the final loop, we start at the end. And today, I actually streamed it. I had a fun final day loop. I thought it'd be like a 2-hour stream. No. That sucker went for 4.5 hours. It was so much fun. We had our entire party angry with us, then we went through the house, and then we went and fought the king, and then we went and chatted with everyone afterwards, and we are finally free of the loops, ending this challenge run. Now, this challenge run was actually really fun. It took 23 days and 1 extra day for loop 0, meaning we did a total of 24 days in the loops. 24 actual physical days. Oh my gosh. It honestly made me think hard about what I needed to do for each day, and I tried not to take notes for myself in between because Siffrin can't take notes for himself, meaning I can't take notes for myself other than, writing down my thoughts each time after, so I knew what I needed to edit and talk about. But I will say there was one day that I literally wrote a sticky note that just said hat in all caps, and I stuck it to my computer because I kept forgetting the gosh darn hat, the steeple hat. Also, we totally broke the game during the final loop. After some point in time, I got stuck in the zone out mode where I'd be walking around like normal, and if I pressed the zone out button, instead of running like normal, I'd be trapped in the zone out mode. So I have no idea how we got stuck like this. And during the stream, I even mentioned how this happened before and how it fixed it before, but it never did. And so Siffrin was stuck walking. So I guess that felt pretty canon because it was the end of the game and it was after the king fight. Also, thinking about it, the past 24 days I've been looping, I 100% understand Siffrin snapping at the end of being told that he'll never be free, that he'll be trapped here forever. And actually I understand now. I love these characters and I love this story, but also trying to escape for almost a month straight. The days I didn't know what to do or wasn't sure what I had to do next were the worst. I would sit there and I would think, oh god, I'm going to be stuck here even longer. But days I knew what I was going to do and stuff were pretty good. I was like, yeah, let's go. I got this. It'll be fine. I felt more successful and ready for the day. While on the final loop, my friend said something like, what if this was your first playthrough? And I was like, my first playthrough was 90 loops, which would have been 3 months. And I thought about it, and honestly, yeah, 100%. I would snap to Sif 100%. I feel like I understand the character a little bit more now. And it's really funny that I say this, because the reason why I wanted to do this playthrough was because I didn't want to leave these characters yet. I love these characters. I already did a playthrough. I wanted to replay the game. I was replaying it with my friends, but we're busy and we can't play every day. And so I ended up doing this playthrough and stuff, so it was my second playthrough. But yeah, long story short, I did this because I didn't want to say goodbye to these characters yet. Which again, I relate to Siffrin a lot more now. I love this game. It's sitting quite nicely in my top 5 favorite games I've ever played. The characters are amazing, the story is so good, it leaves out enough for people to think about what could have happened before or after. There's so much we still don't know about this world, and I really want to see more. Because again, this is the last dungeon of a whole RPG. I want to see this RPG. I'm so sorry. I want to see this RPG. I want to see Mirabelle's story. I love all of these characters so much. To be honest, I want to learn more about how we could save or bring back the Northern Island. If there is a way. I want to meet Bonnie's sister. I want to see what could be done more in this world, because it leaves us with enough to think about it and ponder it, which is also really fun. But at that same time, if we never see anything else from this universe, I am fine with that, because again, it leaves so much open, but at that same time, it explains enough for people in the fandom to take it and do whatever they want with it, which is really difficult for some games, I will say. But yeah, I'm just really happy with what we have. Would I do this challenge again? Not immediately, I guess. I might do it again, but if I were to do it again, I would probably live stream each day. I do want to do this playthrough again. I think that would be fun. That challenge was fun. Thinking back, it's been a week since I've been out of the loops recording this now. But thinking back, I would not immediately. I wrote this script and I was like, no. But now that I'm thinking about it, not immediately. I will probably do this challenge again, and I will do the skipping days thing because I'll be streaming it and people can yell at me if I forget to do things. Also, the day after I post this video here, I'm going to post the final loop stream on my channel. So if you guys want to see me go through the final loop, it's a 4.5 hour video. Stream. I'm sorry, it's very long. My voice was gone afterwards. Like, in the script, I put, like, let's see if I got sick. No, I did get sick. It's fine. I get sick if I talk too much. It's fine. Now, another thing, I wanted to put this video together, and I knew it was going to take me a few days to edit. So I knew more of what my mental state would be like afterwards, because I am somebody who does stuff with habit, and because I got into the habit of doing a loop every night, I knew I was going to forget that I was done with the loops and stuff, so I started making a counter for every time I forgot that I was out and I needed to do a loop that night, and then I went, wait a minute, no, I finished that playthrough, I finished that challenge run, I don't have to do a loop tonight. And I will be honest, most of it happened the day after I finished. I ended up having to move 3 days later, and that helped a lot, because after that I only really thought, like, when, oh crap, I have to do the loop oh wait, no, I'm good, when somebody brought it up. And usually friends were like, so did you do your loop tonight? And I'd be like, so it's fine. But this is how many I did in the past week by accident. Most of this, and when I say most of this, I mean 12, was like the first 2 days. And I do that for reference because I've seen what the community makes. I love seeing what the community makes. Yeah, that's accurate. I would forget. I did forget that we were free. It's fine. But still, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making this, even though it did take a month to do. It's probably the longest video I needed to actively work on for obvious reasons, since, like, I've made my channel. But yeah, thank you for watching. It's been a time. And then stars in time. Until next time, guys. Oh, and one last thing. If the dev ever finds this video, great game. You did an amazing job. I love the characters. I love the game. Everything in the world is amazing. I can't wait to see what you do next. If it's another prequel or if it's a sequel to this game, I will be there on day 1. I will have a pre-order copy of that sucker. But if you want to move on to a new world, a completely new story, and all that fun jazz, I will also be there on day 1 to see what you make as well, because you did such a good job with this one. And for everybody else, please, again, go play in Stars in Time. It is such a good game. It has so much in it. I probably missed a lot of stuff. I doubt I talked to Loop enough to see everything, because I saw dialogue options that my first playthrough didn't have. I also saw dialogue options that this challenge run didn't have and my first playthrough had. So I know I missed things, which means there's more things to find. But still, go play it. And until next time, bye-bye!